Hello and welcome to The Studio Demands It, an exercise in creative thinking where we will conceptualize, pitch, and craft a film or series based on the demands or stipulations from one of you listeners acting as a hypothetical Hollywood overlord.
Overlord!
As professional screenwriters ourselves and massive cinephiles, we talk movies all the time.
All the time.
And we'd like to believe that we can meet any demand thrown at us. And Jim, we got a weird one today. So, we will be your screenwriters for this episode. I am TC DeWitt, and joining me, as always, is Jim. Give it up, get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Berzelic. You want to do that better?
Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up.
There we go.
Like that?
I don't know if we've discussed ska.
I don't know that we have.
On the air before, but pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You do it better than I do.
Yeah, I think I listened to more of it.
And it's your middle name.
It's my middle name, yeah.
Okay, so like we've looped into 90s nostalgia, right? We've discussed this as pop culture goes. There's usually about a 30-ish year cycle. We saw a lot of 80s referential stuff in film and television through the past few years, but we've decidedly moved into 90s stuff with remake shows or rebooted shows like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air or
Sure.
like the fact that
God, how many years ago was that now? That was pre-pandemic.
Oh yeah, it was so 2018 or so. But like the fact that a Mean Girls movie is coming out is
Sure.
that original one's from 2004.
Sure. So we're in 2000s nostalgia.
It's a gray area. I
think we're there.
We can't have jumped to 2000s already.
I think we
That's
have.
Not anyway. But no, because like we've been sitting in restaurants recently, and the radio play.
Oh yeah.
It's suddenly like, oh, I like this one.
Yeah.
Oh, I like this one. Oh, it's playing all the songs that we listened to in college.
Of the late 90s, early 2000s, yeah.
But I haven't heard any ska making a comeback, and that was that boomed big in the 90s.
That's true. Well, we'll know if it just hasn't made it into the nostalgia, or if it's purposely being excluded, if and when we get to big band.
Oh God, if like the full swing.
Yeah.
So you may know this. I used to swing dance competitively.
I think I knew that once.
So in high school, one of my friends' moms came to me and was like, "Oh, Morgan wants to swing dance." So it was my friend's sister wanted to swing dance, and so their mom asked me, because I had done musical theater, if I'd be interested in like maybe taking some swing dancing lessons.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, "Yeah, that sounds fun. Yeah, that sounds cool." And so we would like go up to Milwaukee to the university, and we started taking like swing dance class, and then we started like just dancing, like going to swing dance competitions and whatnot, and got to be in a commercial swing dancing.
You know what? I didn't know this about you.
There you go. So I still have retained at least like the very simple 1, 2, 3 step of
the core bits.
elements of Lindy Hop and the Charleston and West Coast swing and all that. So
Good job. Good for you.
So you're saying if that comes back, I mean, good for me.
Sure.
But if that comes back, we've truly harnessed 90s nostalgia.
Yeah, but if that comes back and we haven't heard any ska or ska punk,
It got skipped over.
Yeah.
Okay. Man, like the Boss Tones are in Clueless.
Mm-hmm. But and it's not just any or all ska either. It would be the pop punk ska specifically that would fall into sort of the zeitgeist, the stuff that got radio play, because there's a bunch of ska that's very good ska that didn't ever get mainstream play. So like
some would
what
argue
you said,
it's not good then.
Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, who are the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones because there was another band called I think the Mighty Boss Tones.
So they were the Mighty Mighty Boss. Oh,
yes.
That's just come up with a new name, guys.
Or it might have been their previous incarnation or something like that.
We're called the Beatles. It's different.
We're a cross between a beetle and a bee.
Beatles.
What? You're getting into weird entomology mutations for your band names?
That's exactly what ska would do.
Like Real Big Fish.
Less Than Jake.
No Doubt.
Who? Less Than Jake did the theme song.
Was Less Than Jake actually ska punk, or was it just pop punk?
Yeah, I guess they weren't horn driven enough to like truly be called ska. Because like I see ska as a whole brass section.
Often it'll be several horns.
Yeah.
I don't remember Less Than Jake well enough. I think I mostly remember
The Malcolm in the Middle theme song.
that's not Less Than Jake. That's They Might Be Giants.
Oh, well, I sit corrected.
Yeah, you sure do.
Sit
I remember
over here in my shame.
I remember Less Than Jake from my Napster downloading covers day. Like, I loved cover songs at the time, and there were plenty of punk and ska punk covers.
Oh man, the
of
entire
songs.
Grease soundtrack done by Save Ferris, and it's like a
Yeah.
20-minute album.
Yeah, Save Ferris. There you go, ska punk.
Yep.
And I don't remember the specific sound of Less Than Jake to remember if they were punk or ska punk.
Yeah, Less Than Jake. Doot 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 doot.
That's Third Eye Blind.
Yeah, Less Than Jake. That works here, live on the air, even though I did that earlier tonight.
I hope so.
Hey, was it a band from the '90s? It was Third Eye Blind.
Yeah. Do 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 do.
Yeah, it's Matchbox 20. What is Matchbox 20? Is that just rock? Is that alternative rock?
It's not. I don't think it's alternative. I think it's just pop rock.
Okay, all right.
Rock pop
I won't-
pop. I think it's just pop music.
I won't go into a whole thing about like I think I saw a Vine. I saw a Vine that was like, what is Matchbox 20? What is it? And it was just
really?
like
Oh, nice.
dissecting it, and it was like
Like
where
what
do
the
they
genre
fit in?
was?
What is this? But it's real fun to recount a video you saw online
It sure is.
with not a good memory of it. Let me. What's the band? What's the band that they sing the song with the Eleanor lady? The Eleanor
the Eleanor lady.
Eleanor
Roosevelt.
No. Big B. Eleanor Bigby. Am I saying that right?
Eleanor Rigby.
Is that the band? I love that
the
band.
The Beatles?
Yes, there we go. Hey June.
It's Jude.
No, that's not a
Hey,
name.
hey Jude.
That's not a name. It's Jude. Jude? You're saying it's Jude?
Jude.
June.
No, June is a month.
Hey, yes, and the name of that song by the
No.
Eleanor Rigby's.
By the It's Hey Jude by the Beatles.
I think you're wrong, but agree to disagree.
That's a good character.
Just like slightly wrong information.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well let's get started here. Okay.
Or they do all the misquoted songs like
Yeah.
I see a bathroom on the right.
Deuce.
Rolled up like a douche.
Revved up like a douche, another owner in the night.
Oh, yeah.
Blinded by your might. Revved up like a douche. What? Yeah. Excuse me while I kiss this guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a coffee table book over here. Okay, come on, let's get into the episode. Jim, quit fooling around.
I've been in the episode the whole time.
People are
this
here.
whole time.
People are here to talk screenwriting with us.
You know what's funny?
What's that?
When I'm online and I see criticism and I like see people criticizing podcasts or just in general, what's your big complaint about? Why can't you get into podcasts?
Yeah.
The number one complaint I see is they go on for like 10 minutes beforehand, laughing at their own garbage.
Literally why Dawn won't listen to any podcast, let alone our show.
Yeah.
One of our very good friends. She's like, every podcast I listen to, they go on for 10 minutes before they're like, well, skip the first 10 minutes.
Yeah. and we do the exact same thing. We are basic white guys, basically, is what the lesson here is.
I resemble that remark.
Yep.
And so, I mean, we can talk for another 30 seconds to really hit that 10-minute mark if you want.
No, we don't have to.
You know what, I'm gonna
we can be different.
No, I'm just going to time travel ahead real quick.
Oh, don't do it.
Okay, here I go.
Don't do it,
I'm going to
no.
time travel, Jim. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm here.
Oh, God.
What did I miss?
Oh, you missed 5 seconds.
Oh, my God.
Stole it. Stole it from all of our lives.
There we go. Okay. Let's give this a go. Jim, our amazing listeners have given us demands from studios literally all over the world. And you listening right now, you can send us any demand you'd like, and we will have to meet that demand right here on the spot. And when we reach the end of the episode, if we've done our jobs, we will have pitched a full script or story meeting, or possibly exceeding those demands. And when the end of the season comes, your demands could have helped craft the script that will be greenlit by the fans for the finale. Thanks to everyone who keeps submitting, who's been submitting. Please keep them coming. The show thrives on the existence of these demands.
It does.
Okay, so today's
It's
demand
right in the title.
comes from Travis and Kelsey from Tone Deaf Studios. Okay. With Mean Girls coming out, we here at the studio have been discussing movie musicals and music in movies. And honestly, movie musicals are problematic. Either they're inferior versions of incredible Broadway shows, inferior in that Hollywood simply must cast known talent, a la Sweeney Todd or Into the Woods, or they're classic films turned into musicals, like The Little Mermaid, the classic films turned into musicals. Little Mermaid, fine, I won't split hairs. Assuming they mean the remake. The upcoming Color Purple, and God help us, people know how to push my buttons. Or God help us, the Back to the Future musical, or their remakes of the actually incredible musicals like West Side Story or Hairspray. People want good movies that involve damn good music. Clearly, look at the works of Tarantino, Edgar Wright, and Guardians of the Galaxy. So here's where we've got a demand that may create better films than those sad musical attempts. Okay. Thank you for your long-winded nature. Thank you for upsetting me by mentioning that Back to the Future has a musical right now. Here's the demand. Take a song that can be turned into a movie. The soundtrack sells itself, being that the artist's work is the inspiration for the film and the title track can appear in some capacity, whether sung or in the background. This is not a demand for you to make a musical. Thank God. That's good. I thought that's where we were going. Okay. I really thought this demand was going to be, I knew it was musical related. I was really concerned it was going to be crafted musical. This is not a demand for you to make a musical. This is a demand for a movie inspired by music. We are now accepting pitches. Travis, Kelsey, thank you so much for that. Yes, thank you. Okay, so Jim.
Yes.
With Mean Girls coming out, I thought it might be fun to play with in the musical realm. So I went through some of the demands, and this is the one that popped out at me without reading the whole thing, because if I had, I definitely am amused by seeing the Back to the Future mentioned here. But I knew this involved music in some capacity.
I missed a bunch of what you just said because not knowing what they're going to do for a Back to the Future musical. The first place I went is there going to be a song called 1.21 gigawatts?
1.21 gigawatts.
Yes. And then I started thinking,
you gotta travel as fast as you can to 88 with 1.21 gigawatts so you're not late.
All right, that's pretty
there
good.
You go.
I went to Rent, and I was thinking 1.221 million
0.0000000 gigawatts.
Yes.
1.2100000 gigawatts.
Yeah.
Great, we did it.
So I was calculating that, and it doesn't quite work.
To
but
525.
Back to the Future the musical, does it quite work?
Anyway,
do you think the first review for it will be, "You'll wish you could go back in time"?
it is currently. I mean, it exists. It exists.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it exists. So
It's probably great.
No, it can't possibly be great.
Why not?
Because you didn't know it existed.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, I am correct.
That's fair.
Okay, but so Travis and Kelsey, is that Travis Kelsey? Is this a joke? Isn't Travis Kelsey Taylor Swift's boyfriend? Yes. Don't shrug. You know it's true. You're wearing a Taylor Swift shirt. Oh, don't shrug at me. That doesn't translate to audio. Anyway, the reference to Edgar Wright and Tarantino and Guardians of the Galaxy, I think, is more what they're talking about, because it's not a musical. They're asking for a movie inspired. It's movie inspired by a song. Jim, talk, please.
Okay.
You have one.
I have so many.
Okay.
Let's talk about things that already exist that are like that. The first thing that comes to mind is anime. The major thing I know of is a manga turned into anime called JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
I've heard of it.
JoJo, the main character, is named after the character JoJo in the Beatles song. Can't remember.
Hey Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey Joe, Joe.
Don't make it bad.
Yeah. No, the. Anyway, it's a Beatles song, and the rest of the anime has a bunch of characters named after famous
JoJo
musical acts.
from Get Back.
From Get Back. Yeah, there you go.
JoJo was a man who thought he was a loner.
Yeah. And like it has other characters, like the big bad guy in the whole thing is named Dio after Rodney James Dio.
Nice.
His powerful sidekick is named Vanilla Ice.
Well, I love anime sometimes. It is so insane.
It is. The thing is, these characters don't resemble any of the pop stars that they're named after or anything. They just took the names, and even the abilities and powers they have, I think, don't relate to the music either. It's just they just used them as recognizable names. That's where I'm going to start with referencing how and when this has been done.
Well, honestly, music videos, like some of the greatest music videos ever made, are films unto themselves.
Sure.
Like the works of Chris Cunningham, Spike Jonze, Michel Gondry. Like a lot of those music videos. Well, I guess Michel Gondry's don't really necessarily tell stories. Well, Dead Leaves on the Dirty Ground does. Like Jack White enters the house and he sees the projections of his memories. So like really good music videos. Weapon of Choice from
Sure.
Spike Jonze tell stories. So what's kind of being asked of us here is to make a feature-length music video.
Kind of.
Another good example of a story turned into a great film is Tenacious D's Tribute.
Sure.
Like that music video and the original version of it, which comes from the Tenacious D show from HBO,
Yep.
where Dave Grohl plays the devil in.
Yes.
Yeah, in the TV show, the song they can't remember or the song that they played that fateful day is "Stairway to Heaven."
Yeah.
So, you referencing anime, I think thinking of this as like what are some of the best music videos of all time that are, I mean, Taylor Swift just got nominated for her short film that is just the 10-minute version of one of her songs.
Sure.
So that's sort of like the point of references I can think of here.
Yesterday was I mean it's not really the story of a song.
Oh,
it's
great.
it's really more it's the guy it's sort of a celebration of the Beatles.
Yeah, the concept that the Beatles never existed, but one guy remembers.
Yeah.
Cool movie. Danny Boyle did that. Who
Yeah.
has one of the most vast libraries of like he's hit every genre.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Across the Universe is a jukebox
Oh,
musical
there you go.
that is all Beatles inspired.
Sure. Oh,
Yeah.
and then just jukebox musicals in general.
Which
those sort of fall in this, but I guess This Demand is a bit different, and we have some ideas,
Sure.
which are a song turned into a feature
Yeah.
length story.
to just put on record my disdain for jukebox musicals, put it on the record. I think
Yeah.
jukebox musicals are lazy as hell because it's just very like 99% of the time it's just like insert song here.
Yeah.
That's annoying as hell. Like I'm gonna talk about Glee for a second. So Glee, truthfully, as a screenwriter, I have watched the pilot to Glee at least a dozen times. It is
Okay.
so well done.
Okay.
From page to execution, it is such a well crafted pilot episode, an introduction. It even works independently as like you could just watch that and feel closure and fulfillment. But the way they utilize the music in that pilot episode, and through the first season, under the eye, like the guidance of Ryan Murphy, the music was contextually appropriate for the moments, as all good musicals is. When talking won't work, sing, and when singing won't work. When talking isn't enough, sing, and when singing isn't enough, dance.
Yeah.
And that first 13 episodes of Glee does that really well. But eventually just reached a point where, like, we're going to go to the dentist. Oh, my God, I got gassed by the nitrous. I fell asleep, and I dreamed I was in a Britney Spears music video.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
They get real.
Yeah. You just, and
contrived.
Yeah, that's neither here nor there. I just wanted to. No, that's here.
That's
and,
here.
and you're there.
Yep.
And
It's here. It's here and there.
It's here and there. Okay, so, I
So now that we've defined what the demand is not,
yeah. Well, I think I said it pretty succinctly. It's that it's a feature length music video.
sort of, yeah.
Or more importantly, is songs that lyrically tell such a good story that it could be a movie. And the reason
I think those are going to lend themselves much easier to this demand.
yeah. The reason I picked this demand again is because I thought it'd be worth to play in the musical world, and I just glancing at it, it felt like you had pitched an idea to me once before.
Yeah.
Some country song. There was a
Yes.
country song about murdering a guy, right?
Yep.
What is that? I think
Who
that,
knows? It could be half of them.
Yo, you're gonna have to narrow it down. This is country music we're talking about.
Yeah.
Half of anything sung by a woman, half of those is gonna be about
Yeah.
murdering a guy, and half the guy ones are about murdering a guy too, just to watch him bleed.
Yep. Oh no, Die. It was Die, not to watch him bleed.
What? You're telling me Johnny Cash
Yeah.
shot a guy just to watch him die?
Yeah.
I thought it was to watch him bleed.
You listened to the Walmart edited version.
Oh no!
He killed a man in Reno just to watch him die. And there's an interview. This is going to be hearsay because I'm not going to remember for sure. I swear there was an interview where he said, "Oh no, that's a real story. I changed the name of the town." So that
Wait, so Johnny Cash killed a guy?
yeah. I mean, before he was a singer, he was a sheriff.
What?
He was a sheriff for a short period.
The movie didn't show me that. That can't possibly be true.
Yeah, no,
I don't
it's true.
remember seeing Joaquin Phoenix as Sheriff Joaquin. Don't look it up.
I need to look it up now. I'm spreading lies again.
I'm teeing you up to pitch your
I
country
know
song
you
here.
are, but I need to know about this now.
Was Johnny Cash a sheriff?
He was an honorary Bexar County Sheriff's deputy
Wow. Okay. All right. Well,
in 1959.
and then he went and shot a man in Reno just to watch him bleed
Yep.
to death. Those
Yeah.
lyrics don't really roll off the tongue.
No, they don't.
I shot a man in Reno just to watch him bleed to death.
That'd be even worse, right? Because like that means you shot him in such a way that he wouldn't die right away.
Oh God, I'm growing uncomfortable by this conversation.
Right. So let's talk about a different murder.
Yeah. Kill him.
Right. So I have this grand idea for a movie based on Goodbye Earl by The Chicks. When they wrote it, they were known as the Dixie Chicks.
Yeah.
They have since removed the Dixie.
The Chicks.
And it's a song about these two girls that are friends. They grow up. They go to high school together. They graduate. One of them leaves town, sees the big world, and becomes successful in whatever she's pursuing. And the other stays there in town, and as the lyric says, all she found was Earl. And it isn't too long. She marries Earl, and it's not too long after that he turns and he becomes bad, and he starts abusing her and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the other woman returns home. The first one, Earl's wife, ends up in the hospital. Like she even got a restraining order, and as the lyrics say, he walked right through that and put her in the hospital.
We could continue. I have questions. But
and
continue.
then I really should be looking up the lyrics so I get their names rather than just saying one woman, the other woman.
Well, Wanda
And
Marianne.
Wanda and Marianne.
Marianne flew from Atlanta
Yep.
on a red-eye midnight flight and held Wanda's hand, and they worked out a plan. And it didn't take them long to decide
that
that
Earl
had to die.
Yes.
Okay, so it's a revenge movie. Now, I'm curious, do you see this as dark and serious as this content
No.
suggests?
Well,
or do you see
I mean,
this a little
I
more-
see it more as the tone of the song, which is actually quite uplifting. I see it as a dark comedy.
Dark comedy. Okay,
Yeah.
so you're I'm gonna make a 1999 reference that barely anyone's gonna get. Are you looking at like a Drowning Mona scenario here, where it's clearly a story of a murder, but we're meant to laugh along with it? You did
Yes.
say dark comedy. I didn't need to specify a movie, did I?
No, that's okay, because the other one that comes to mind, oh God, I'm not gonna. I want to say it was Diabolique, but that might be the totally wrong. It was a Sharon Stone movie. She and I can't remember the other woman conspire to murder Chaz Palminteri, and it's super serious.
But you.
So I
yeah.
don't see it as super
Diabolique. You're correct. 1996. Yep.
serious. Okay.
Thanks. Ask Jeeves.
And that one was like very super serious, and I don't see it that way. In fact, the way I would want to portray it is the whole town does not like Earl.
Mm-hmm.
Earl is a giant, gaping a-hole.
Gaping.
Yeah.
Yowza.
Yes. And what ends up happening is, so Wanda and Marianne, they put their plan into action, and they try to kill him, and the way it'd probably work is they start with poison. They try to poison him, and he falls over like on their dinner table, or maybe he flops off of his lazy boy or something like that. And they're like, okay, he's dead. What do we do with him now? And like there's a moment where they're turned away, and he disappears.
Oh, like he survived.
He didn't die yet, and so this is where a lot of creative license can be taken, because in the song it goes from they kill him to the cops are looking for him and he can't be found.
Mm-hmm.
This is where most of the movie takes place.
Okay, continue.
Most of the movie takes place between those verses, basically. So he then wanders through town, initially trying to get help. The early part of the movie, we see Wanda and Marianne grow up. We see Marianne left, or
Yes.
Wanda left.
Yes, Marianne left.
Marianne left. We see her become successful off where she goes and sees the world, and we see Wanda meet Earl.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's sort of a sub act where we see them together, and we see how Earl treats the town. He's going to be this just. He's going to be a big guy that throws his weight around.
Yeah.
And basically he's a bully. He's a big bully. So that way later when he starts showing up to places,
Help me.
the thing is, like, he's poisoned so he can't speak correctly, and so when he shows up, people think he's there to terrorize them. And, yeah. And they're scared, and so they defend themselves, and they also end up doing things to him that should probably kill him, and he ends up wandering off. It's basically a comedic. Do you know how Rasputin died?
I mean, it took a lot to kill Rasputin.
Yeah, they invited him to a dinner, poisoned him with cakes, didn't kill him, poisoned him with alcohol, didn't kill him.
Stabbed him, set him on
then
fire.
Then they're like, okay, this isn't working. We're going to stab him. We're going to shoot him. I don't remember if they set him on fire. They rolled him. He was tied up
tossed him in the river.
And tossed him in a river. He was found dead downriver the next day or whatever. What he had died of was drowning. Like, he had gotten one hand loose and was trying to swim.
Oh my God.
He did not die of the poisoning, the shooting, the stabbing, none of that. It was. He even got far enough to start swimming, and it was that the very last thing, the drowning, that did it.
So Earl,
and that's kind of what I want to do to Earl, is this abusive husband, who just is awful to the entire town, starts wandering through town.
do you want people laughing at this?
Yes.
Like,
Yes,
oh
I do.
my God.
Yeah.
So, in order to achieve something like that, where you're willing to watch someone get like torn up like this and find the revelry in it, do you imagine having someone like a Will Ferrell playing Earl? So he's like,
No, because by that point, the Earl character is basically supposed to just be a big Frankenstein almost.
Okay.
Because he's not really going to be understandable.
Yeah.
he's supposed to just be sort of a big menace. So I'm imagining someone more like Vincent D'Onofrio from Men in Black.
I came in here, cat.
Yeah,
My
right.
friend. That
like
tracks,
a
yeah.
big imposing.
Edgar, you got your skin's hanging off your bones.
Yeah.
Damn it.
So that's the tone I'm thinking.
I'm just
going
gonna,
for.
since you tangented over here real quick, I'm gonna pitch a song real quick that I felt I teed this up. I'm sorry. So the good guys are dressed in black. Remember that, okay?
Yeah.
Just in case we ever face to face and make contact. The title held by them is MIB, means what you think you saw, you did not see. So this song is about this like clandestine organization about these men who wear suits and they wear sunglasses and they can like. They take care of like intergalactic threats or whatnot.
There's a song about
this
that?
is a song. It's by William Smith, and it's called Men in Black, and it would make an excellent movie. Okay, I'm done. So back to Earl.
Anyway. Right, so
I'm a clown.
so Earl gets poisoned and bashed and stabbed and shot, and I wouldn't want to necessarily string him up, but having him get dragged by a car at some point in some way, just all this stuff.
But and you spend so the movie, like the first part of this movie, basically leading up to this, would be endearing us to Wanda. Like we need to love Wanda as an audience, and we need to hate Earl.
Yeah.
So when he gets his comeuppance, similar to like Home Alone, we spend that whole movie being endeared to Kevin, so that when Harry and Marv show up, we're like, get him, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the pitch there, that we want to see this guy get what he deserves.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's probably a 5-act in some way.
Yeah,
A 4-act, something like that.
You could probably just blanket it as a 3-act of like
No! No!
Prologue introduces
Yeah.
these two girls as best friends, then send them on their way, and then following them through their time together up until meeting Earl, like you suggested, really falling in love with Wanda. Well, we could see what Marianne's doing as well, but then leading up to the we've seen how bad this guy is, but the clincher is putting her in the hospital, and he walks right past that restraining order.
Yeah.
And then Marianne returns and says, what happened? And then it's, we need to stop. We need to get this guy. And then the plotting of getting Earl and then finally executing that, and then him stumbling through town, getting what he deserves over and over again.
With them trying to chase after
Yeah.
him to get rid of the body.
Yeah, we're going to get busted.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the song, they get away with it,
And
right?
ultimately, yeah, there would be, I imagine there'd be a final confrontation where basically, they finally do him in, and it would be framed in for the audience. It would actually be self-defense. After all these things, like he becomes kind of aware of what's happening, and off the top of my head, he starts strangling Wanda. And like something happens where they have to actually kill him. Like it becomes a truly tense scene. And they finally are free of him. He dies. And they have to bury him.
They have to bury him. So
Yeah.
all dark comedy aside, it really comes down to that the climax is essentially a slasher movie of going up against a Jason Voorhees type.
Yeah.
And we're like, get him.
What if you married Michael Myers? And then the right, we get a it's an extended denouement of then, like, the next day.
The world is
and
a better
week.
place.
Yeah, we get a little montage of the town breathing a little easier because it's just
The schmuck
a
is
cloud that has been hanging over us for years is gone.
Mm-hmm.
And the police show up looking for him, probably because his job has said he hasn't shown up for a few days.
If Earl was in a position of power in this small town, like having like, I built this city, you all owe me, like he lords over
almost
them.
like the guy in Slither.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Michael Rooker's character in Slither.
Yeah, something like that. So then then there's even that little bit more of.
Sure.
And then you kind of like you're dealing with some messaging here about like abuse, which is
Yeah.
obviously a very serious subject.
Actually, I also like the abuse of power
Exactly.
as well.
That's what I was saying. That you can lace in thematically this idea of taking down the corrupted power as
Yeah.
well as someone who's physically abusing someone so innocent and sweet who deserves better in this world.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Goodbye, Earl.
Yeah.
By the Chicks.
And then right, it all ends exactly the way the song does. They open a roadside stand selling Tennessee ham, and what else? A couple other things I can't remember.
We need a break. We go out to the lake, Earl. We'll pack a lunch and stuff you in the trunk, Earl. Well,
Oh yeah,
is that all right?
I do a bunch
Good.
of that stuff.
Let's go
yeah.
for a ride, Earl. Hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, well, hey, hey, hey.
In fact, maybe that's what they do, right? I would want to get as many of the actual lyrics in there.
Oh, absolutely.
So they plan they take him out to the lake and they poison him with food in the picnic basket,
Mm-hmm.
and then they try let's go in the lake, let's and they try drowning
They
him.
start
and
there.
They think they drown him, and then they gotta drag him up, get him into the car,
Could
and then they lose him, like he flops out of the trunk
Mm-hmm.
or something.
could their first attempt fail and like they go back to the house like, oh my god, we did it, and then he just walks in like, oh honey, man, I have a headache. Where'd you go after the lake? Like he or like just the idea that
Sure.
their first few attempts fail, but he's also so like wounded
Yeah.
or oblivious that he doesn't understand that
That's
his
not
wife's
bad.
trying to kill him.
Yeah.
So when they finally like, listen, once and for all, this can't. He's like a bad penny. He keeps coming back. We need
That's
to
not
take
bad.
him
Yeah,
out.
that's good. I like that.
It adds to the surreal comedy, the
Yeah.
sort of the lunacy of this. That
The
it's
absurd,
the absurdity, thank
absurdity
you.
of the situation.
Goodbye, Earl.
Yeah,
I'd watch that. That's fun.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so I should move to a pitch of my own here.
Sure, yeah, because we got through that one a little faster than I
Yeah,
expected.
I mean,
It's-
we
but-
could
but that
elaborate
one-
further if you want, but
well, no, those are. I think that's the gist of what I'd do. Aside from like, oh, and then we'd have a hilarious moment with hammers. I don't know. It's,
well, the what comes to mind, like reading this and like just letting my instincts go, I think of Major Tom, the David Bowie character,
oh, sure.
who David Bowie put into a number of songs, but other people started using Major Tom in songs as well. So maybe this is kind of verging into like Across the Universe territory, where it's a number of songs, but the Major Tom songs of David Bowie and like they're I can't even think of. Someone's yelling at me right now. The the Major Tom references. It's a linear story. You can break down all the lyrics of Major Tom being launched into space and getting lost, and turn that into a film. Like there's a linear story to be told. What do you think of that?
Sure. I may not be familiar enough with the details. Isn't it really just how things are just going further and further wrong, and they're losing more and more communication, and he's just drifting further away?
Well, so he's referenced in Space Oddity, which is probably the most well-known.
And
Bowie.
also, like I know it's technically the reverse of this, but is it referenced at all in the movie Man Who Fell to Earth?
No, because that's about an immortal.
Oh, okay.
I could be. I should probably look that, but
I
no,
thought it was about an alien. David Bowie
mushing
plays an
my-
alien who falls to Earth.
Yeah, he tripped and fell.
Yeah.
But like Space Oddity, I'm pitching this without like the firm knowledge in my head, so maybe
Sure.
this is a poor choice.
No.
But like so Space Oddity is about Major Tom who slips. Like he slips the bonds of the world to journey beyond the stars, and then Ashes to Ashes, Bowie reinterprets Major Tom as an oblique autobiographical symbol for himself. So this could almost be like a David Bowie biopic using the character of Major Tom as an analog for Bowie himself. I'm pitching this with I should have gone with a song I know better. Because I'm
That's
like,
okay.
Major Tom, I'm going with David Bowie. He's a character that's appeared a bunch of times. Never mind. Let's go back to my Men in Black joke. I
Sort of the reverse of jukebox musicals. There are albums that are concept albums.
Yeah.
Where a whole album tells a story.
well, certainly. I mean,
I
the
mean, that's a little
Rush,
different. We can't really necessarily pitch.
American
here's this
Idiot,
one. Yeah.
was turned into a Broadway
Sure.
show. Coheed and Cambria have been telling the same story over a number of albums. Angels and Airwaves, Tom DeLonge's band, is a multi-album concept series.
Mastodon did an album which is a retelling of Moby Dick.
Oh, all right.
It's the heaviest and hardest telling of Moby Dick you will ever
You will
hear.
ever damn hear. So, okay.
So how do you see Major Tom ending? Right, because this whole thing is about him drifting away, isn't it?
well,
I know it
Space
ends
Oddity-
with this the refrain of home, but isn't that about him missing home?
like he loses his tether breaks and he drifts away from Earth and he's gone. Like they lose him, right? But Major Tom comes back in 4, 3, 2, 1, Earth below us.
Yeah.
Move. Who and now someone right now is yelling at me what the name of that song.
That's Major Tom. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, sorry. Space Oddity is Bowie's story.
Okay.
And then Major Tom is the sequel to Space Oddity.
Oh, okay.
This was a bad pitch. I'm
Oh,
like
okay.
I'm
You
reeling
wanna
right
drop
now.
it?
I'm reeling right now. So
kind
someone,
of like Major Tom through
yeah,
space.
yeah. I'm tumbling in the ether right now. So someone out there could probably do a better job pitching this. So I guess I should not have gone here, and I'm ashamed of myself right now.
What this is reminding me of is it's not referenced as Major Tom, but so right reading the lyrics, it's not that his tether's broken. It's go to full rockets, not responding. And so the thrusters aren't working, nothing's working. He's drifting away. Give my wife my love. There's nothing left. No one understands, but Major Tom sees. Now the light commands. This is my home. I'm coming home. I don't understand where that's coming from because the idea is he's drifting away and no one knows he's still alive in the ship, unless the ship is crashing at that point and it's burning up on reentry.
That's horrifying. It's a sad ending to the
No,
story of
not
Major
the-
Tom.
Earth below us, drifting, falling.
It's drifting. It's
Floating, weightless,
that sounds so
coming
sweet.
But it reminds me of James Kachalka had a song called "Bad Astronaut."
Wow, James
Where-
Kachalka is a name I have not heard in a long time. Sorry, should I do that appropriately? Well, that's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
Perfect. And it's a song about something goes wrong on their space shuttle, and everyone except this one astronaut is passed out, is unconscious. They can't be awakened. The ship has lost control. Houston can't take control of it, and they are drifting toward the sun. And this astronaut, in his final moments, has decided to be a bad astronaut, and he is doing terrible things. He's putting stuff in the unconscious astronauts' butts. He's just doing all sorts of bad, juvenile, naughty
This
things,
sounds like it should be animated
or
by the Rick and
actually
Morty team.
full on crimes if you look at them in the not cheeky way.
Should Dan Harmon be animating this with his team?
Maybe.
All right, I'm going to do one last pitch on Major Tom. About
Okay, go for it.
So Space Oddity
Yeah.
is the first appearance of Major Tom.
All
okay,
right.
and that is the story of Tom when he experiences communication failure and then he floats off into space. That I know for sure. That is what Space Oddity is about.
Okay.
Okay.
That does happen in Major Tom as well.
Then Ashes to Ashes is the story continuing,
Oh.
and it suggests that that Major Tom succumbed to drug addiction,
Oh.
and the character is portrayed more like abstract and surreal.
Okay.
What are you giggling at over here?
I'm having an idea. I'm
good,
I'm
good.
creating correlation.
Great. And then Hello Space Boy is his third appearance, and the lyrics. Now Major Tom is depicted as forgotten and discarded. He's been abandoned into space. Like they've okay, he's gone. All right. And then Black Star. So Dave Bowie came back to this character multiple times. But, so Black Star was in 2016. It further explored. This was his last album. It references outer space and mortality and it's a reflection on the journey of loss that Tom goes through now that he knows Earth has forgotten about him. Okay.
Okay.
And then there's the Major Tom song written, the other version of the song.
So it sounds like Major Tom is sort of the summary of all of like all of these songs are an extrapolation of the one song Major Tom.
Yes.
Okay.
Is that what you were giggling about?
No, I was giggling because as you were describing between these songs, you were putting together the story that one of my favorite T-shirts tells.
Please continue.
There's a T-shirt. It's basically I'll cut to the chase of what it is. It's Pac-Man, but in it Pac-Man is an astronaut, and he's being haunted by several other ghosts. He's being haunted by several dead astronauts, and each is in a different colored spacesuit. And our astronaut in yellow is screaming on the floor from them and scrambling to pick up some pills. And that's it. The T-shirt is basically says Pac-Man is about a dude in space being haunted by ghost astronauts.
So
and he needs pills to make them go away.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, you have taken
and that is what it sounded like you started
I've
describing.
pitched Major Tom.
Yeah.
He's dying on a space station that's been untethered from Earth, and we're also adding in elements of Pac-Man fever.
Yes.
2 songs, baby. All right, I'm reeling right now. I feel like I failed at that.
That's
pitch.
okay.
So let's take a quick break here, and we'll come back. I'm gonna try a second one.
Okay.
I got such a banger of an idea. You already know it's a good idea.
Are you just gonna take my second idea?
All right, we'll be back after these messages. Peter Schilling, Major Tom, don't at me. I looked up who sang that song. I should have just done that live on the air, but this is me correcting that it was Peter Schilling who sang the Major Tom song.
All right.
That's just basically remember when we did the biopic
really?
episode and you rattled off the story of Iron Chest, Iron Jacket? And
Yeah.
That's what I feel like right now.
Oh no.
Okay, Jim, you got another one.
I do.
I want to hear what you have to say. Are you whipping up lyrics right here?
Yeah.
You're literally writing the song right now? Mm-hmm. Okay.
So there's a song by Butthole Surfers
Great.
Called-
Now, buttholes in the algorithm.
called Pepper. It actually got radio play.
It is a great song.
It is.
This is a 90s song, speaking of 90s.
It is. This is a story that is more inspired by the song because nowhere in it does it say these specific things. I would just incorporate a lot of let's see if I can find the.
So Marky got with Sharon, Sharon got with Cherise, she was sharing Sharon's outlook on the topic of disease. Mikey had a facial scar and Bobby was a racist. They were all in love with dying. They were doing it in Texas.
Oh, that's already different than.
That's the song, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, you know how when you hear lyrics and they're not. So I do that a lot. I'll get inspired by things because I mishear lyrics.
Yeah.
This one isn't that big of a difference, and it doesn't change too much. I always thought Bobby. I didn't think Bobby was a racist. I thought he was a rapist.
Oh, that definitely changes things.
It does. It frames him in a. I mean, he's a villain either way, but he's there's a more immediacy to one crime over the other.
Yes, but okay. So you inspired by Pepper by the Butthole Surfers.
By the Butthole Surfers.
The Butthole Surfers.
The story that was inspired by it that I would incorporate is so all of these people are people in my story. The pitch of the story is an investigator, like a police detective, looking at a bunch of cold cases, finds something that links all of these crimes together. Crimes across like three or four decades.
I'm gonna jump in already and say just to Can we find a reason why he would be looking into cold cases? Why this detective,
Co-
man or woman?
Off
why
the top of my head, it's because it's his job.
Okay, like sort of relegated to, like your time
Yeah.
is done, oldie.
Sort of, yeah.
Old timer.
Yeah.
Detective, go down to the basement and shuffle paperwork, and like I used to mean something. I used to solve cases, and here are all these unsolved cases. I'm going to start looking into them.
Sure, something
Okay.
kind of like that.
Okay, yeah.
And when he starts looking into it, he finds there's the connection between all of these crimes or terrible accidents is a group of teenagers who seem to have been around the whole time. They've never aged. And when he looks into it, he finds that there is a group of immortal teenagers who are basically committing crimes, not just not necessarily murder, like rape, for example, and arson, burglary, all kinds of stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And it's because back in the 40s or 50s, this group of teenagers found hidden out in the wilds of Texas the Fountain of Youth.
They were all in love with dying.
They were drinking from a fountain. They were all in love with dying. They were drinking from a fountain that was falling like an avalanche coming down the mountain.
I don't mind the sun sometimes. The images it shows.
So,
Yeah.
and so he starts trying to track them down and doing something about it. And there's a whole middle section to work out of him discovering them, hunting them down. He himself finds the fountain, though they don't know he's found it, because at
Yeah.
one point, they actually throw him in the story I already have. They throw him off of a cliff, thinking he's dead, and they're not going to do the normal villain thing and just we assume he's dead. They go down to the bottom to find his body, and it's not there because he's crawled away.
Okay.
Because he actually was able to drink from it before they got there and beat the crap out of him and killed him. So the third act is this one broken immortal detective, at least immortal for the time being, now having to defeat these several other immortals that have had decades of planning their crimes and covering them and getting away with it.
Nice. I want to make a suggestion for how they like kill him. Not just get him like throw him off a cliff, right? Set his car on fire and send it off the cliff, like
Oh, sure.
like in a pursuit, right? Because there's some will die in hot pursuit and fiery auto crashes. Some will die in hot pursuit while sifting through my ashes. Some will fall in love with
Oh,
life
sure,
and
there you
drink
go.
it from a fountain that's pouring like avalanche.
Yeah.
So like having a big action chase sequence that leads to a car careening off a cliff.
An action sequence is probably better. I was seeing it as much more like cringy brutal.
Well-
because they corner him and like orcas playing with a seal, they just beat the crap out of him and then set it up to look like this happened.
Yeah, I think all that can still mesh and really just comes across like I think the tone of this should be like a dark, like
Horror noir,
okay,
right? Like
yeah,
imagine
yeah.
the noir genre. I don't know if horror noir is really a thing. Sci-fi noir is.
Horror noir.
Neo noir. I'm sure there's horror noir.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look into this.
Do you see this having a grungy independent film vibe? So almost like Talk
Yeah.
to Me, like the Talk
Oh,
to the Hand movie.
yeah.
Like that level of like grit.
Oh, it's a very.
This isn't.
This is a very Gen X '90s, early 2000s.
the
kind
90s
of
are back,
movie.
man. Mean Girls is coming out. It was made in
Yeah,
2004.
that's true. Yeah, there you go.
Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up.
I'm trying to think of movies that this would have sort of. Like honestly, I see a lot of Fincher, like Seven.
Oh, dude, read my mind. Yeah, I was gonna suggest that as well. So him going after these immortal teenagers, becoming immortal himself. How do you wrap this up? Like, does he win over these?
He does.
These bastards.
Basically, it's a matter because the thing is the immortality. It's not you drink once and you're immortal forever. They have to keep revisiting the fountain to remain young and to try to heal and stuff like that.
Well, I'll give you this. The latter lyrics. Another Mikey took a knife while arguing in traffic, so he could get his first
Yeah.
kill there. Flipper died a natural death.
He caught a nasty virus.
Yeah. Then there was the ever-present football player rapist.
There was a rape. There we go.
Yep.
There was a rapist.
Oh, there he is.
And I think it's that guy. That guy has the most blatant crimes that the detective probably finds this
Make him the leader.
this
Like,
collection through.
he could be the leader of the group. Yeah, like the final face-off between these two. Setting it in Texas and imagining it being like a heat wave summer. So
Yeah.
it's just like there's a sweaty, like uncomfortability to the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like visually, like I can feel the
The humidity?
the humidity
Yeah.
and the grime of something like this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how would you finish this off? Like how did like I
Like he does manage to a couple of them manage to be taken down during the course of the movie. Like for example, we would get a lot of flashbacks to their past crimes and stuff. But then like I wanted to have one of them when he's either drunk or high or whatever. They're playing down by the train tracks, and one of them gets hit by a train. They're probably trying to do something else nefarious and terrible to some other people at the same time. But he loses his leg, and like that's evidence. Like, oh, they can be hurt.
Oh yeah.
Because that doesn't grow back when
Yeah.
they go to the fountain.
It sort of has Doctor Sleepish vibes to it. The way that
Oh, sure.
like the immortal, they're not vampires. They're
Well, they
like,
are.
They're vampires.
They're just not vampires in the
Traditional
the
sense.
Twilight
Yeah.
Bram Stoker's sense.
Right. But even Doctor Sleep, for as much as I adore Mike Flanagan, Flanagan's work has a bit of like a cleanliness to it.
Yeah.
Even at its darkest.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think evoking Fincher, really that the heat of Texas summer in the night as well,
Mhm.
and as much as the daylight, I think is like a really cool. You're 2 for 2 on these pitches, my friend.
Thank you. In fact, maybe that's actually even a misdirect at one point. Is like he thinks like maybe the first time he corners them, or the first time he's able to confront one, he does something like he brings up a crucifix and they laugh at him. He's like, you think we're
What do you think-
vampires?
what do you think this is, pal? Yeah. Slap.
Mhm.
Yeah, so like a final confrontation between our detective and
And these nefarious immortals.
yeah, well, I mean, right down to the last one. Like
Mhm.
if the detective picks them off one by one, it almost becomes a reverse slasher. Because if we've seen like the detective isn't the monster, these
Yeah.
these immortals are, but in the end, they are slowly starting to have to flee from him because he's relentlessly taking them out one by one.
Okay, I could see that.
And not that I ever want to have sympathy for these.
No,
these
no, especially not because the crimes they commit
are
are
heinous.
right. They're not even horror movie crimes, right? Like it's not like we're not seeing slasher movies or like vampires draining blood. These are very real world relatable crimes that they've been doing over decades.
I would love imagining this like existing. It would be I think a true win if there were a segment of the population of filmgoers who misinterpret this and see those teenagers as like something to us. Oh man, it'd be cool to be them. Like I think it'd be.
Oh no, it very much would. Who wouldn't? Like the whole right. It plays into the whole. You have found the fountain of youth. What would you do?
Anything I want.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it would be a feather in your cap.
Now imagine the teenagers, the worst teenagers you can think of, being the ones that found it. Yeah.
Like people who misinterpreted Fight Club. It would be
Sure.
great to see someone misinterpret this and be like, "No, that detective just stopped them from having a good time." It's like, no, Travis Bickle is not a good guy.
Yeah.
He's the bad guy.
Mhm.
Would you just call it Pepper? Like, I mean, is that what it just comes down to?
Maybe
Well, actually, new question.
I might call it. I might pick a town in Texas.
Mhm.
Name it that.
Do you imagine this being like darkly serious the entire time? Is there any way to inject? I'm sure yes. The answer is yes. But do you imagine there's any character or element of levity in this to break the tension? Like,
I'm
would the
I'm
audience
sure
be
there
allowed to
is.
laugh, even if just to break tension? Like, okay, so
Honestly, I don't see it. I see this being very very tense. I see it being
Yeah.
more like Seven, like
Talk-
the better Stephen King movies.
I think Talk to Me might be a good most recent point of reference
Sure.
because God, that movie is that's a 2023 film. I
Mm-hmm.
thought it's one of the best horror movies I've seen in ages, and it has everything I think this would need.
Yeah.
Just that the brutality of,
Mm-hmm.
of some of those moments. Whereas like Evil Dead Rise, well, I really enjoyed that as well. It's sadistic to say so, but there's almost a fun in the horror elements, like the brutality
Sure.
of Evil Dead Rise.
Because it plays into the tradition of Raimiisms. It is homaging and
Yeah.
sequelizing.
And I don't know if
No, I don't see
yeah,
that this way.
This would go that way.
Because I want to start it. It should start very much in the real world,
Mm-hmm.
and the discovery of these people being ageless
Mm-hmm.
should feel surreal. Like it's nothing else about the setting is weird.
Yeah, it's oh god, the idea of
Like if
more-
anything, the cold open would be someone closing an investigation into a vicious crime and being like, "It's another one we just can't solve," and like referencing statistics of how many unsolved violent crimes there are,
and giving it this
and not saying that and I wouldn't want to insinuate all of the whole idea is, I don't want to insinuate these 7 people are responsible for all of those.
Mhm.
It's that their crimes are lost.
in the mix.
yeah.
Yeah, that's an important point to make. It addresses the severity of unsolved cases,
Yeah.
and you're just giving it this paranormal twist
Mhm.
on an answer. That's good. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pepper. Oof. Brutal. Okay, I have one.
Okay.
We've gone here before, Jim, and now it's time to put it to the air. It's time to immortalize it here, to thus force us to even go one step further. Ladies and gentlemen, this movie simply writes itself. You're walking in the woods. There's
gonna
no
do
one
this one?
around, and your phone is dead. And out of the corner of your eye, you spot him.
Shia LaBeouf.
He's following you.
LaBeouf!
He's following you about 30 feet back. He gets down on all fours and breaks into a sprint. He's gaining on you.
Shia LaBeouf.
You're looking for your car, but you're all turned around. He's almost upon you now, and you can see there's blood on his face. My God, there's blood everywhere. Running for your life.
Shia LaBeouf.
He's brandishing a knife. It's
Shia LaBeouf.
lurking in the shadows, Hollywood superstar.
Shia LaBeouf.
Okay, so this is Jim. You showed me this,
I did.
and I'm wondering how many people are in my position. For those of you out there, there's a GIF of Shia LaBeouf aggressively clapping, which is an homage to Citizen Kane.
You saw that first?
Yes.
Oh, that's
it's and I think there's gonna be people in my position who have seen the GIF of Shia LaBeouf in a tuxedo, like aggressively clapping, which is an homage to Citizen Kane.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea where that came from. And one day, Jim pops on this video for a music video for real life cannibal Shia LaBeouf, which ends with that clapping. And I was like, oh my God, that's where this came from? And this is the most insane, amazing thing. And the fact that Shia LaBeouf involved himself with it is so awesome.
Yeah.
And in seeing this and discussing it, this could be a movie right
It's
here.
funny you gave this pitch and I totally forgot, because we watched that video, and then for the rest of the evening TC first said this could be a movie, and I instinctively went no. But like kept talking about it, and I was like, oh, actually this could.
Yes.
And it's not quite, it is the story that happens in the song,
Mhm.
but I feel like we created
Yeah.
a more like almost like adaptation.
Yes.
Like technically it's an adaptation, but it's so much.
It goes beyond.
Yeah.
So it's a time loop movie.
Yes.
Where this guy, this main character,
the you in
the
the song.
you in the song, this guy keeps waking up in the woods, running for his life from Hollywood superstar
Shia LaBeouf.
who's been living in the woods and killing for sport and eating all the bodies, actual cannibal,
Shia LaBeouf.
right? And so he experiences like the beginning of the movie
Yes.
is the song.
Yes.
Like it is the entirety of the song that is the beginning of this whole movie. You see
And it would take what, maybe half hour?
maybe
20 minutes?
less, yeah, maybe 15 20 minutes, but it's the entirety of the song played out in real time. Now you're in the dark.
10, 15, yeah.
You seem to have lost him, but you're hopelessly lost yourself. Stranded with a murderer, you creep silently through the underbrush. Aha, in the distance, a small cottage with a light on. Hope, and you move stealthily forward. But your leg, it's caught in a bear trap and gnawing off your leg. Quiet, quiet, limping to the cottage. Quiet, quiet. Now you're on the doorstep, sitting inside. Shia LaBeouf. Sharpening an axe. He doesn't hear you enter. You're sneaking up behind him, strangling superstar,
Shia LaBeouf.
fighting for your life with Shia LaBeouf, wrestling for the knife, stab him in the kidneys, safe at last. You limp into the dark woods, blood oozing from your stump leg. You have beaten Shia LaBeouf. Wait, he isn't dead! There's a gun to your head! So, I'm just keep reading the lyrics here. But so the whole thing plays out, and in the end, you're finally safe from Shia LaBeouf. And this guy wakes up and is like, I had the most insane dream that this happened. So the music video, or like the lyrics end, and this guy wakes up to his day-to-day life and is like, what a insane dream. But the circumstances of his life slowly lead him back to the woods, suddenly running from Shia LaBeouf again, and now he's reliving the dream exactly as we saw it, and as it ends, he wakes up again, and it's like, what just happened? I just relived it again? And so then he makes an effort to try to find Shia LaBeouf.
It's the reverse of that.
Okay, go ahead.
It's the first, because I'm only correcting
That's
you
okay,
because
that's fine, yeah.
we plotted this out. We go through it the first time. This might be too much, but I loved it. It goes through it once, and he escapes, and he falls asleep, and he wakes up, and he's in it again.
He's right in the woods again.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
And maybe maybe because we already saw it, a faster one happens this time with a few things changed because he remembered what just happened in his dream. So he does that again, and it ends, and it ends, fade to black, cut to black, whatever. Wake up, it's not him. Shia LaBeouf wakes up.
Yes,
Shia
thank you,
LaBeouf was
thank
the one who dreamt this
Guy
repeating
dreaming,
dream.
yeah.
Yes, and he makes it. He becomes obsessed with it, and he writes his dream down. He starts talking to people he knows in the industry to get this made.
We have to find this. We have to find this guy.
Yes, because he wants to find the guy. Because he feels he's out there in the world, and people are like, "You're crazy." And he's like, "No, this is a thing." So what he does initially, because he can't get anyone to make a movie, so he gets these people to make the music video. So the music video you watched takes place in the middle of this movie,
Where he's making very specific demands about how the music video needs to go.
Yes.
That he's written this song.
Yes.
That he has heard because of this, and he's trying to recreate it, but it's not coming out correctly because he needs the guy.
Sort of like he's very like, that's why he has the Citizen Kane thing. He's very proud of it. Like, he's super, like, so it's come out the way he needs, and he needs it to spread, and it goes out to the internet. That's when we see some people watching this video thinking how crazy it is, and this guy in the background like hears and sees, and he comes over and he watches it like, I had this dream.
This is my dream.
This is what is this about?
Well, it's the new Shia LaBeouf musical. No, this is my dream. I need to find Shia LaBeouf.
To me in my dream, and so he Shia and him get connected, and Shia basically tricks him into going to the woods because Shia is so obsessed he wants to recreate it, and the guy's like, "You are insane! No, I took over your
It's
story.
okay. It's
here.
okay.
I'm so sorry."
No. I mean, the excitement of this is that he's like so determined to recreate it, and every time they do it, just keeps resetting.
Sort of, but this time they're now in real life, and it doesn't reset, and things are going different. And Shia's getting mad. He's like, "No,
do it
that's
again.
not what you do."
And then he kills him.
No, he doesn't kill him here. Because this is the final one. No, it's not.
No. Because it needs to be perfect. So he says again.
Oh, that's right. I'm
do it
sorry.
again.
You're right.
Again, and he kills him. Shia LaBeouf wins to start it over again.
Yes.
He's like, it needs to end with you killing me, we need to do it again. And every time the guy screws up, Shia LaBeouf is like, this is so, seriously, if you guys just want to take a moment to go watch this music video, you will appreciate this so much more. I hate to do a you gotta be there kind of story, but it behooves you to go find this music video. So he keeps again, do it again. It needs to be this way. It needs to be right. You're doing it wrong. It's like, I don't want to kill you, Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah.
This is your nightmare, not mine. It's like, no, it's your nightmare too.
Yes.
And he keeps just getting angrier and crazier, and it keeps looping back on itself and looping back on itself until it fails so many times that Shia LaBeouf is at his wit's end. And we'll call Jack, our main character, is like, we don't have to do this. We can stop. We can be friends. And Shia just...
We can break the loop.
He breaks the loop, and Shia just admits, like, maybe this just is this curse, and the only way to break the curse is to just stop. And he forgives each other. They leave the woods together, and they become friends.
They actually do, like, they write a book. They do a national tour.
Yeah, the music video, like, takes off. Like, they've come to terms, and it's happily ever after. Like,
My Life with Shia.
My Life with Shia. They grow old together, and it's just... And Shia, like, isn't crazy Shia LaBeouf anymore. His, like, career gets back on track. He wins an Oscar. Like, and this best friend of his, platonic friend, like, the love of his platonic life is side by side with him every step of the way, literally holding his hand on his deathbed. And when Jack, our main character, finally passes away, he wakes up in the woods with blood on his head, and somewhere in the distance you hear, again! And then cut to black.
Yes.
And that would be our Shia LaBeouf horror movie.
Yes.
I mean, Shia LaBeouf Live is the name of the song, but I would think it might just be Shia LaBeouf would be the name of the movie.
Sure.
And it would be this insane adaptation, is what you kind of referenced earlier. Meta time loop
adaptation. Yeah.
We started this entire episode, and if
It's
you want to
true.
hear the bonus content about it, holy
It's
shit, I
true.
didn't even think of
I
this.
didn't think of that either.
We looped in on ourselves. If you want to hear the bonus conversation we had before we started the episode, it's available on Patreon. We started our night by discussing time travel, time loop horror movies,
Yep.
and that's what this becomes.
Yeah.
It would be so weird and
be
so
so great.
trippy.
The cherry on top of all of it for me is that we also reference we include and reference the Shia LaBeouf, the green screen, just do it.
Kill me.
What are you waiting for? Don't let your dreams be dreams.
Make them a reality.
It's so good.
I mean, ideally, if we could somehow tap into a fraction of Charlie Kaufman's ability to weave absolutely absurd, surreal, meta-commentary films, we would have succeeded in life.
Yes.
And it would be with real-life human cannibal Hollywood superstar
Shia LaBeouf. If anyone out there knows Shia or
Rob Cantor, who wrote the original song,
we sincerely would love. I feel like they would enjoy this concept, and we would love to. Please connect us, make this happen.
Yes, this is a call to action. Our listenership has climbed well above we're in 4 digits at this point, like into the 4 digits, and so we know one of you out there listening right now might know Shia LaBeouf. I mean, he's everywhere. He's behind you right now. Look, who is it? It's
Shia LaBeouf. Shia surprise.
Shia surprise. Oh man, I really hope that those listening took the time to go watch this,
or have seen it,
have seen it before, because I seriously had never heard the song. I had no idea that clapping Shia LaBeouf was from.
I mean, that's a failure on my part for not having shown you that
Sooner.
long ago.
Hey, timing is everything.
It turns
if you'd shown
out.
me long ago, we might not have conceived this.
Yeah, it wouldn't have happened.
Absolutely insane. Like, oh, God. Well, so you've pitched 2 very good ones, and obviously you're involved in pitching Shia LaBeouf here. But so Pepper and Goodbye Earl. Are there any other songs that like come to mind to you that? Because I've been
So Finn might be our friend Finn might be mad if I don't mention my Clutch stories. There's a band called Clutch. there isn't a single story from any one of their single songs. I actually have like this huge epic kind of woven between all of them, where Marcus the Redneck Samurai goes on this epic adventure.
I mean, Marcus the Redneck Samurai is the title of this. You just won the marketing.
Thank you. He goes on this adventure in this warped futurescape to defeat the beast with 50 eyes, which in the song that's referenced in is it right that's a reference to the United States. 50 eyes, the star of the 50 states. I make it an actual monster. It's a full actual like eldritch. It's a reference to another song. I think Cthulhu's Redheaded Stepchild.
And these are all Clutch songs?
Yes,
You
these
were
are all
like
Clutch lyrics.
You're like, this is great.
Yeah.
Because I have 0 point of reference to this.
Sure.
So this might be how people just felt for the past 15 minutes.
Oh,
0
that
point of
makes
reference
sense.
and just like, go on.
Shia LaBeouf.
You've had me at human cannibal Shia LaBeouf.
Yes. But it's this huge epic that I've imagined that pulls inspiration from lyrics and misheard lyrics.
Those are the most
by
important
Clutch.
ones.
Yeah, they are quite important actually. Yeah.
It's interesting when I'm sort of just like, I've been kind of like brainstorming songs, kind of going through like some of my playlists. How many songs are lending themselves to horror concepts, or
That's a lot of what I listen to. So
well, no, because even not just it's even Goodbye Earl, we sort of spun it to have a slashery element by the end of it, where they're like, this unstoppable dude is they're trying to kill this guy, like it's a bloody movie.
I mean, the reason it turns serious is because I want it to be a righteous kill.
Yeah, of course, but I'm just saying like
because it is he has been abusive to this town and abusive to his wife.
right, and I'm not poo-pooing it. I'm just observing that Pepper and Shia LaBeouf
Sure.
and Goodbye Earl all have had like bloody showdowns in them in
Sure.
a sense, right? And I'm like, okay, Love Story by Taylor Swift, this sweet coming of age, I love you. It's a Romeo and Juliet story.
Sure.
We can't be together. Surprise! I asked your dad for permission, and now we can get married. Pick out your white dress. Like, okay, sweet. I guess that's something there.
Oh, I thought of another one.
Is it the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald? Because
It's not.
It's not. Okay.
Talk about that one.
not going to talk about the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Why not?
Because
It's about a ship that goes down.
like Gordon Lightfoot. Never mind. Okay, but thinking of other, the one that popped in my head is a location with haunting elements to it, and maybe someone's already gone here, is Hotel California, like a location that is a roadside stop for someone who gets drawn in, and you can never leave. Like, there are ghosts running the Hotel California. This guy is
Yeah.
trapped there. It's like you can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. As if lyrically, it's like you the only way you get out of here is killing yourself, and then you can never leave. Is the suggestion that the Hotel California offers up, which is, could make for an interesting ghost story type.
It would.
Yeah.
I remembered another one that I thought would make a pretty cool movie.
Mm-hmm.
I need to fill in a lot of blanks. As I was listening to it and the story started coming together, it got way more serious than I wanted it to. I wanted it to be pretty. I wanted it to be more on the light side. So maybe you could help me do that. But the song "Take the Money and Run" by Steve Miller Band.
Take the money and run.
Here's a story about Billy Joe and Bobby Sue, two young lovers with nothing better to do than sit around the house, get high, and watch the tube. And here's what happened when they decided to cut loose. I'm not going to keep reading the lyrics. They decided to rob a bank. They decided to rob a house. And Billy Joe defends himself and shoots someone while he's robbing their castle.
Mm-hmm.
And then Bobby Sue took the money and ran. So I imagine this, since it starts with like a murder, that maybe that's sort of what makes it kind of darker.
Mm-hmm.
I guess there'd probably be a way to frame it so that self-defense, because movies, people die in movies, and it's not always the most serious gravity kind of thing. But if it's framed in a way like this dude is actually like, yes, they're robbing his house, but he takes it a step further and is trying to trap them so that he can justifiably shoot these people.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, that's dark. They're willing to walk away. They're sorry for their crime, and you're like what was the blind guy movie? The
don't
kid,
speak. No, don't. Yes, it's got
kids decide to rob this blind old man, and it turns out he's a crazy killer guy, and he traps them in the house to hunt them down.
Don't breathe.
Don't breathe.
Yeah.
So in that not, I don't want to go horror movie with it, but like that initial thing that kicks off them now running. But the thing is, I wouldn't necessarily want to do like I like the breakup of these lyrics, the way Billy Joe shoots this guy, and then it specifies Bobby Sue took the money and ran. And I like the idea that even though they're together, they keep actually splitting up. She's like, "Nope, I'm out." She takes the money.
Get back here.
She goes, and now Billy Joe has to chase Bobby Sue
just to catch up with her.
Yeah. Meanwhile, there's a Billy Mack is he's a detective down in Texas, another Texas story.
Whoa. It's the same guy. It's a sequel, guys.
Yeah. He is now the one in charge of chasing them down. So it becomes this madcap goose chase of Billy Joe and Bobby Sue chasing each other, but also trying to run from Bobby Mack the whole time, all the way. And it's a run for the border story.
That could be like a really like almost quiet indie movie. A lot of like twilight and night scenes. Like
it could be. I see it being like, because of the tone of the song, I see it being lighter and fun.
Okay, so now you're looking more like True Romance.
That's funny for you to say lighter and fun. I mean, it's more light and fun than Natural Born Killers,
Yes.
which was its undesired companion.
Yes.
But honestly, I see this movie being like actually both of those, but I don't want it to be as grimy and gritty as either of them.
Okay. That it could be, but
Oh,
because
definitely
you're
could be.
suggesting that it has a little bit more sort of fun, that
Yeah.
it's okay. So I could see it's pretty much a simple premise, but it lends itself to that, what you're suggesting. I think
Yeah.
works. Yeah. Good. Okay. Well, you keep knocking them out of the park. I got one more. Okay.
Okay.
All right. I'm the man in black. I'm back, breaking the back of the random attackers so you can flax. Yo, I'm dangerous. I've been trained to bust. When the strangerist tries to endanger us, black suit's coming. So this is Nod Ya Head by Tra Knox and William Smith. And I think it would make an excellent movie called Men in Black 2.
All right.
Yeah.
What happens in it?
Oh, okay. So
So there's these guys called the Men in Black.
yeah.
And they're back.
Yeah, they're just letting loose up in here. Go crazy. The way they bouncing and shaking. I know you're feeling me. Okay. So get up on your seat and come on. Nod your head with me. Nod your head with me. When you get down with the black suits, baby, you're letting loose. Okay, go crazy. So that's the movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't
That's
even
what
know.
happens.
I don't even know what more details you need.
Letting
Okay,
loose
so
and
it's
going
this
crazy.
chick, right? Serlina. She's making me sick, right? Okay, Earth is worthless to her. Sorry, it's worthless.
Worthyless. Okay.
Worthless to her, and she tripping, like threatening me and my men's, trying to get me light, thinking she's a superwoman or black kryptonite, finishing whatever you start, son.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's about that. Do I need more details than that?
No, I don't think you do.
We don't want to hear Pete, baby. Woof. Nod your head.
What a fun episode.
I said it was a weird one. Hey, remember we did 2 episodes of superheroes? Thanks to all the new listeners who've come along. We did the
You
Marvels.
like some superheroes? Let's talk about
some Aquaman.
We're gonna recite some lyrics to you.
From Men in Black.
Not even Captain Kirk style.
Oh, Rocket Man. Okay, so
There you go.
no, okay, okay. We don't have to like stretch this out much further if you don't want to. I think we've had some fun here. there are literally countless songs that would make for good music videos, let alone good movies. And I'm certain people are out there like, oh, this has spawned ideas in me. I think it should be this would be a good one. This would be a good one. This would be a good one.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love for people to hit us up with their pitches, not just like full pitches of like what are the songs with the lyrics, and just say like, what would you do with that? Because I think, Jim, you nailed it. I think you nailed the demand here. I do not think I did. I made a joke of this. I obviously had too much fun pitching Men in Black and Men in Black 2 and failing Ziggy Stardust. Again, I'm like quickly looking through my playlist here, like Jeremy from Pearl Jam, just being about like
dark.
That's a super dark school shooter story. Yikes.
You brought up Rocket Man. I actually, the story that comes to mind for that one, is actually about a grown man, adult, well into his life. He has a family and everything, and he discovers he's gay. So when I hear Rocket Man, I like thinking about how Elton John came out as gay, recontextualized that song to me, and so the story it's to me it's a metaphor, right? He's going out to space. He's leaving his family behind. They don't know who he is at home. He's a rocket man out here. He's become who he's supposed to be. I didn't really have a story till just now, and I think it might be a bittersweet story. You have a guy who discovers he has a family, a loving family, but he discovers or finally admits to himself he's gay. But he still can't admit it to his family, and he contrives this insane story about he's going to space.
Oh, I've been an astronaut this whole time.
Maybe what happens in the early part of the movie is some company who's going to be going to Mars says, "Hey, we're looking for people to sign up," and so there's this whole rush. Everyone's like, "Yeah, we want to go to Mars," and he says he's signed up, and he gets the letter that says he hasn't been picked, but he tells people
that he was,
and he leaves town. He's like, "Oh, I'm gone." And he goes basically to discover himself, and he starts discovering himself. But he does feel bad for having left his family behind, and he keeps sending them letters back, or emails or whatever, that are describing what it's like out in space, and it's all veiled stuff. It's the adventures he's having in his new gay life.
Yeah,
he is recontextualizing as space adventures,
as science fiction-y.
Yeah,
okay.
And sending them home. I don't know where that ends. I don't know how that ends. I don't know if he comes home or if he leaves them behind, or how he meshes that. I would want to consult with you.
Yeah,
and then I'd want to run it by
Elton John himself.
Elton John and people in the LGBTQ community.
Well, I'm wondering if there could be three perspectives in this story. So we have our Rocket Man who is living this life and sending these letters home, and having the letters being read by his wife and his son, like his young naive son. And when his son is reading the letters, he is fantasizing the science fiction. Like we actually get to see the most sci-fi Star Wars adventure through the kid's lens of how he reads the emails or the letters. But the wife is slowly starting to read between the lines, and she's putting it together. Like she's kind of understanding what's actually being said here. And when the Rocket Man returns, he's returning to these two people who've interpreted his story one way or another, but still love him. And if the wife greets him with open arms, like, "I love you, and I'm glad you're back, and I know your journey was important to you, and I accept that." I think that there could be a sweet ending to this, as opposed to
good. Rather than
you lied to me,
all these lives crumbling.
Yeah, I think that that the potential that could be there, but there could be an uplifting nature to, because that song's got some, like, that's a good song.
It does. Honestly, though, I actually like. It's also, there's a sadness to it, in my opinion, when listening to it. Right?
Well, you want to hear the absolute like devastating version of that song that every time I listen to it, Sarah Bareilles singing.
Oh, I've not heard that one.
Oh no! I sorry. Strike that from the record. She sings "Goodbye Yellow Brick Road" so beautifully. I'm recommending another video for people to check out. Sarah Bareilles' "Goodbye Yellow Brick Road" is so good. Elton John has signed off on it as a better
Wow.
version. But that's neither here nor there. I think, yeah, that would be my pitch for how to end this. If it's the movie's perceived from the reality, the young innocent son's perception of Star Wars that his dad is living, and the wife understanding what's really happening, and then the three of them coming together in the end, and it just being love in the end. That it doesn't have to be.
I think that's a better interpretation. Because the song ends, and I think it's going to be a long, long time.
Yeah.
That's suggesting he's not going home. So we can change. We can change the story.
Well, if I may
Sure.
spin that in the end, that it's going to be a long, long time. It is a long journey to self-discovery for all of us.
That's true.
Because the journey of self-discovery never ends. And so I would interpret the lyric that way. It's going to be a long, long time till any of us truly understand who we are. It was a long journey for him to get to where he is, to become the Rocket Man. It's going to be a long journey for his son to live his life and find out who he is. It was a long journey for Rocket Man's wife, and it will be going forward as well, as she has to discover who is she now independent of him.
Sure.
So I think it's going to be a long, long time. It's spun that way
Okay.
for our ending.
Yeah.
By the way, Rocket Man as a musical biopic is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's-
I heard. I missed it. I didn't get
Yeah.
to see it in the theater.
If I may do a quick little review of it,
No!
while it falls into some of the tropes of the musical biopic, which we've discussed previously, how I would love to present that by watching all of them at once on top of each other. Rocket Man does some really fun, surreal. The way the music and the song and dance numbers are melted in, like blended into the story, are really fun. I do think the first half of the movie, if you split it into two acts, is way stronger than the second half.
Okay.
That's not to say the second half doesn't have some like really great visual metaphor, like beauty to it. The fun of early Elton John and early in his life being interpreted on the screen visually is so much fun. So, yeah, Rocket Man the movie right there. There's a quick
All right.
little my 2 cents.
Nice.
Well, okay then, Jim. I think we can wrap it up here. I'm gonna call it, friendo.
Go for it. Wrap it.
Okay. I don't actually. Before I do that, I'm just gonna see if Men in Black 3 had a song by Will Smith, and maybe I can. Okay. As I was saying earlier, I'd love to know what the listeners think here, especially Travis and Kelsey. I'm still suspect of Jim. Understands he's a Taylor Swiftie. If we achieved what you were suggesting here, I think we did. I think Jim. I'm going to keep complimenting here. I think you nailed it.
Thank you.
I think the Pepper and Earl and yeah, there's some great stuff here. But A, did we hit the demand as you guys expected us to? And B, what are some of the songs? I already said it once. I'm going to say it again. What are some of the songs that you think would make good inspiration for full films? So hit us up in the comments, or if you want to reach out to us through the socials, you can do that as well. But I do think that's where we're going to end the episode today. You can message us directly at studiodemandsit.com or on Instagram at studiodemandsit. We are still active on Twitter. If you'd like to hit us up there, I'm still going to be a curmudgeon about that site. And
I'm working on getting some other venues
Yeah.
for communication.
Jim has been discussing setting up a Discord for us this season, and I'm putting it on the record now.
Ah,
We just
crap.
put some pressure
There's
on
a
you.
clock on it now.
If you're not already, you can subscribe to us on all your podcast catchers of choice. And if you feel like giving us a little review, you can do that right there on the app, and that really helps us get out there into the algorithm. You can also find us on YouTube and TikTok, where we post video content, including material not heard here on the show. And as mentioned, we do have a Patreon for a couple bucks a month. You can get episodes early, as well as extended double-length episodes and movie commentary tracks. A massive thank you to 6.5 Media. I'm just rattling this off. Massive thank you to 6.5 Media for everything they do for us. Please check out the other 6.5 shows. Jim, you've had a moment. So those who might not know, whenever I start babbling through this social media nonsense, Jim doesn't care.
all the credits.
Jim doesn't care about the credits. He likes to just go into his mind palace and
I
start
do.
pulling books and boxes down and going, what's an idea I didn't look at earlier?
That's exactly what I do.
He's like, ooh.
What could we talk about for another half hour after? I Midwest goodbye everything. Right? You're telling our goodbyes, and then I'm going to come up with an idea to talk for another hour. No, I don't have anything.
I'd like to be under the sea in an octopus's garden. Should that be a movie?
What would the plot? That's a premise. What's the plot?
It's the
We have to escape the octopus's garden.
Yeah, it's the Meg. So Jason Statham is trying to escape.
Oh, that's Meg 3.
Meg 3.
Because we found out about the other giant monsters in Meg 2.
Yeah. So there's a giant octopus that is like.
But the octopus garden is like the nest where they're born.
Yeah, and there's just like, and like all the eggs are cracking open. So it's sort of an Aliens riff. We can admit it, but that's fine.
Everything with eggs is.
It's all these awful octopi. And
Octopodes?
And they're so smart. They're smarter than Jason Statham.
Yeah, yep.
Boy, he's tough as nails.
That's okay because he's the beekeeper.
That's right. How is beekeeping skills going to... Wait, are you suggesting a crossover between the beekeeper and the Meg?
No. Yes.
Okay, that's it for this episode. We'll be back again soon. No,
if that's what beekeeper was, it would be so much better.
Okay, well, that does it for this episode. I'm waiting for you to interrupt me again. We'll be back again soon with your demands to challenge to improve the world of cinema. I am TC.
I'm thinking about this too much.
What are you thinking about?
The beekeeper.
That's if you're gonna think about anything, it's got to be
the beekeeper was a great name, and it's I don't want to say wasted because the movie looks good and
the action looks good.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And so it's going to be fun. I mean, they're releasing it in January, so that says a lot. But imagine if the beekeeper, imagine the premise of the movie was instead more Meg-like, and Jason Statham was a beekeeper who comes across like giant bees.
Okay.
And now he has to deal with like he's entering a whole giant insect world. So now we got Jason Statham fighting giant sea creatures, and we get Jason Statham fighting giant insects.
All right. Well, that sounds fun. I'd
Really,
like to
it's
take
nothing to music.
I'd like to take a step back, okay? And I want you to pitch. We're going to pitch a movie called The Beekeeper, based on Keaton Henson's song "Beekeeper." Keaton Henson, he's an English folk rock musician, and if you didn't know that, he's a poet from London.
Okay.
So I'm just going to rattle off these lyrics for you.
Cool.
Believe me, this loneliness won't go away. Hear me, O woman that has gone astray. Your friends will always just be in your way. They'll die or leave you either way. You all say I've crossed a line, but the sad fact is I've lost my mind. And you all say I've crossed the line, but I've just lost my mind. 'Cause I'm just getting started. Let me offend, the devil's got nothing on me, my friend. All I want is to be left alone. Tacked from me like bone from a stone. 'Cause I'm just getting started. Can you see me? Can you see? They tell you lies, thus keeping you weak. Leave me. My heart is dead for all to see. You've crossed a line. So those are the lyrics.
I mean, I feel like you chose a tone in your reading.
Oh, okay, sorry.
But no, the tone. Yeah. I understand why you went there.
I'm reading this cold. I've literally never heard this song in my life. I've never heard of Keaton Henson. Have you?
No.
I don't even know this song sounds. The fact that he's a British folk singer, I probably could have chosen a better.
I don't know. Those lyrics do not suggest folk music. Also, he didn't say beekeeper.
The song is called Beekeeper.
I know. So what that makes me think is it's a stalker slasher film.
Yeah.
About a guy who gets obsessed with a woman, and not catfish. Probably a lot of gaslighting happens as because he has chosen to add her to his hive, and so he's doing things to drive off and or mysteriously kill all of her friends and anyone close to her, and it starts working, and basically he starts bringing her into his world. But he's a psycho. He wants to be alone.
Yeah.
I'm going to interpret that as he wants to be alone with her. He doesn't want anyone around.
Well, this is the actual song. I mean, this sounds like a psycho, like just someone who slowly lost his mind. Hear me.
I love you, but only the bees understand me.
Yes, the buzz, buzz, buzz of the bees. The monarch versus the beekeeper. Come to me, Dr. Girlfriend.
Oh, there was a beekeeper. It was Buzzy Bee, the Disney.
That's right.
The Brisbee.
Brisbee
Brisbee's, yeah.
With this
The Disney analog.
So you imagine like a stalkery,
Yeah.
psycho,
Based off those lyrics, yes.
Yeah. I mean, now hearing the tune, I have it playing deep. Like, I don't know if this is coming through the mic because I don't want to get flagged by the algorithm, by the AI.
Oh, I just thought of 2 more songs that I imagine stories for.
Go ahead.
One is not Down by the Water. That's PJ Harvey. I'm sure there's a story there. I don't have that one. It's the Toadies. Okay. Hang on.
Here's a fun thing happening right now. I've done the sign off, but we are still recording, and we are we are still in the episode proper.
Oh, we are?
Yes, we are.
Oh, I thought we were in the bonus
No,
territory.
I mean, technically, yes, after we do the sign-off, we do go into bonus territory. So for those listening, if you're ever wondering what it sounds like getting the Patreon extended stuff, it's this. We do the sign-off, and then we just keep talking. But because we're still on topic here, and I'm willing to let this episode keep going, that's where we're at. And now I have vamped enough about what's happening here that you've looked up the
So
song.
my favorite song by the Toadies is Possum Kingdom. It very likely is about a serial killer, but I imagine it's about a vampire. Because where's the lyrics? Make up your mind, decide to walk with me around the lake tonight, by my side. I'm not gonna lie, I'll not be a gentleman. Behind the boathouse, I'll show you my dark secret. I'm not gonna lie, I want you for mine, my blushing bride, my lover, be my lover, yeah. So to me, this is a song about a vampire choosing his a woman he is going to sire, and turn into into a vampiress.
Vampiress.
In honestly, in truth, a more or less supernatural, fantastical reading of it is it's about a serial killer who is going to kill a woman and make her another one of his claimed.
Yeah.
Great, because it ends, be my angel, do you want to die? I'll treat you well, my sweet angel, so help me Jesus.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's dark.
Another dark horror movie.
Oh, yeah, they all are.
Well,
They all, every single one. I know earlier I was like, no, not all of them. They are.
yeah. Well, I got one that would make a good, like, old, almost referential to old school Universal monster movies, okay? And it's a werewolf movie.
Okay.
It's a werewolf movie based
right.
on a song that lyrically is about a werewolf. And no, it's not the song you think it is. The wild dogs cry out in the night as they grow restless, longing for some solitary company. I know that I must do what's right. As sure as Kilimanjaro rises like Olympus above the Serengeti, I seek to cure what's deep inside me, frightened of this thing that I've become. It's gonna take the lot to drag me away from you. There's nothing that 100 men or more could ever do. I bless the rains down in Africa. Gonna take some time to do the things we never had. Hurry, boy! She's waiting there for you. So Africa is about a werewolf. I don't know if you knew that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It says wild dogs cry out in the night. That's all you need.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right there.
That's right there. I've seen everything.
There's actually a good werewolf song by...
Did I just not take this entire episode seriously?
No, it's not that you didn't take it
pitched Men in
seriously.
Black. I'm like, Space Oddity. I don't know the songs well enough to sell this. Get out of my office. Are you sure you don't want to hear more ideas from me? Leave. All right, I'm a screenwriter.
My vamping is just laughing. So on that same album by the Toadies, there's a song called "I Come from the Water." I don't know that that one well enough to actually pitch it.
Is the water the rains from Africa?
Yeah, they are. No, that one's more premisey. I like the idea of like a fish man and stuff like that. But the other song, let me grab the lyrics here real quick. Is not Blue Lyrics, Blue Orchid. by
Doom, 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 doom. No, that's Blue Oyster Cult.
yeah. They got songs that would make good stories as well. Veteran of the Psychic Wars. I don't even know the
What?
lyrics.
Just the
I don't even know
title
the
alone.
lyrics. That's yeah. I know a number of role playing games that have referenced that song.
You had mentioned our friend earlier, Finn. He is involved with a role playing game based on Harvey Danger's "So Much for the Merrymakers" album, which I think that
alone
album
is awesome,
is
yeah.
so great and it's very underrated. And the fact that someone built a role playing game around that is very exciting.
Back in the day, back in college, we would come up with whole stories and adventures for role playing games based on a number of songs. Do you remember the Beta Band?
That sounds familiar.
In college, it was awesome, and like every song was like, "Oh my God, this is an adventure about angels and demons right there." I went back a few years ago. I couldn't locate the stories and the songs the
Like,
same
what
way.
were
I was
we?
like,
What were we hearing?
Yes, they're still decent, but it wasn't as easy to find that same inspiration. But the song "Blue Orchid" by the White Stripes, I also think is
yeah.
about a vampire.
Vampire music.
Yes. Where's let's see if I can find. You got a reaction. You got a reaction, didn't you? You took a white orchid. You took a white orchid and made it blue.
Is that metaphorical? So you're
To me,
taking
yeah,
taking like the
The young alabaster skinned
yeah.
woman and draining her of her blood. Something better than nothing. We all need to do something. That's the one. Yeah. Truth from showing up. How dare you? How old? How old are you now? How dare you? How old are you now anyway?
like a vampire,
yep.
ageless. Are these the vampires from Pepper? They're not
No,
vampires.
they're not
immortals.
vampires.
They're immortals. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm sorry.
No, these two songs are not related. I see this about being actual vampires.
Okay.
Real life vampires. You're given a flower, but I guess that there's just no pleasing to. Your lips taste sour, but you think that it's just me teasing you. You got a white orchid, and you took a white orchid, and you turned it blue. So it's a lot more metaphorical. Than,
Yeah, but I can see
several of our other songs.
you've put the spin on it where all I'm hearing now is vampirism. So
Have you ever heard the song Breeze Blocks?
no, you keep throwing songs at me I've never heard.
And these are all murder murder stories. I shouldn't say. Alt J, the band Alt J, made a song called Breeze Blocks. They're British, and that's why. So if you don't know the term breeze block, they're cinder blocks. In Britain, they call them breeze blocks because the holes in them allow breeze
the wind can
to
go right through. Yeah, that makes sense.
In the lyric, in the song, she may continue the urge to run away, but hold her down with soggy clothes and breeze blocks. Citrazine, your fevers grip me again. Never kisses. All you ever send are full stops.
Is this another vampire?
No, this is a straight up killer.
Oh, okay.
Right, because he is holding people down with wet clothes and breeze blocks. Like literally, they're wrapped in wet clothes.
Whoa.
I don't know if you know how hard it is to escape from wet cloth. It's very difficult. And then on top of that, weighted down with cinder blocks.
I mean that.
And then I looked it up one day. I forget what cetrazine is, but it's a drug. Germaline, disinfect the scene, my love, love, love. Please don't go. I love you so, my lovely.
Ooh,
It's all very
my lovely.
like murder obsessive type stuff.
I mean, if we're gonna take songs about stalkery obsessor types, there's an artist that we both love that has written many a songs about that. Weird Al Yankovic.
It's true. Yeah.
But
yeah.
you know, honestly, if there's gonna be one Weird Al song that I think would make a pretty fantastic, fun, bloody fun movie, it's The Night Santa Went Crazy.
Yes.
To have a movie where Santa snaps and just holds an entire North Pole hostage as the FBI shows up to like, Santa, let the elves go.
Come out with your hands up.
You'll never take me alive. Oh.
Well, and then which one do we go with? Because there's two versions.
I know.
The one where he where they take him out.
Yeah,
or the one where he is arrested.
I would go with the one where he's arrested.
All right, that's fine.
Yes, Virginia. Now Santa's doing time.
In a federal prison for his infamous crime.
So yes, we can continue here to like rattle off songs and discover new stories to tell through music. But I do think
and discovering new music from each other's catalogs.
Yeah. Or listicles on Ranker.
It's true. Yes.
Thank you for this demand. This ended up being a lot more fun than I I worried I'd worried where this was going to go. But happy to break away from tradition and do something wild like this every now and then. So, but yeah, that's gonna do it. I already did the sign off, and so as I said before, I'm TC.
I'm also Jim.
Yeah, you are. Okay, good. That's how we end it.